Hi, welcome to the market alert for Thursday, the 6th of September 2018. So yesterday in the pound, the market was moving lower down to the 128 level until we saw some buying coming to the market here. Sell signal failing because the market found support at the 128 level. And then, of course, you see the big move here, the market trading straight through the 200 bar moving average and also the DP level and also the 128.50 level there. And the reason for that was Brexit news, which I have spoken of before, that if we get any good news on the Brexit deal, the pound is going to rally sharply, and this is what we saw yesterday. So that's the reason behind the big move that you see here for yesterday. Market hit selling pressure and then retraced. The question is why, when we had such good news? And as I've said a million times over the last don't know how many years I've been doing this, that one economic news item will not change the trend of a market. So you could see the market pull back, and if you look here you can see we're back about 38% already of this move. And the easiest way to see that is to go to the fib retracements here. Let me just add in 38.50.62, click apply, and then draw from the low of yesterday. I'll get the right tool to start with. It would be useful, wouldn't it? From this low to this high, and then drag it over, and there you are, 38%. It's amazing how, once you get used to Fibonacci retracements, how you can sort of guesstimate where prices have pulled back to. So you can see there that the market, an area for the pound is going to be just below the DP area where it should find support. If this is going to be some sort of an impulse or momentum move to the upside, it would need to find support in this area here. So an interesting move for the pound there yesterday, and in the daily chart you can see what we've got here. And what I'd be inclined to do is this. I'm just going to get rid of, I know they're not in this chart anyway. I'm just going to draw in 76% of yesterday. On the upside, this is where the market's likely to find resistance, and that also coincides with that psychological level of 130 as well. So watch this area. If the market moves higher, to me, I would expect it to go back to where it came from. And say one news item, and particularly something that is fast moving like the Brexit negotiations. I don't mean the actual deal, because obviously it isn't, but I mean the news surrounding it. You will see ups and downs with this until something is finalized, and then it will be interesting to see how it pans out. We've got this until March in the pound, so it should add to the volatility and also to the trading arena as well. Meanwhile, in the Dow yesterday, let's start off with the daily chart in the Dow. Again, you can see we've got a bit of a trend moving to the downside here. In order to move high, you need to break through this. The Dow is the only one that hasn't actually broken the all-time highs. The Nasdaq, S&P, Russell, and yeah, that's the three, I think. Yeah, they've all broken new all-time highs, except for the Dow. And the reason is because the Nasdaq and the S&P broader markets, the Nasdaq technology market got the 5 FANG stocks in there, and of course Amazon now worth $1 trillion. So that's pushed the Nasdaq to new all-time highs, whereas the Dow, just the 30 components, likes of Caterpillar, aerospace, that sort of thing. So it takes a bit more to manipulate that one to the upside. So a bit of a move to the downside there in the bigger picture. Nothing to stop it moving to the upside, and I suspect that when we get some news that will support it, you will see that happen. But on an intraday basis, we had the buy signal. The market retraced down to here, got close to the stop. I'll just show you the trade markup here. Came close, but you'll also notice if I switch to the fib retracement, the low in the pre-market session ends up at just the 76% there before the market moves higher. And if I remove this and also watch, you can see how this one was moving yesterday down to 76, and this is how it seemed to move yesterday. It was up and down, it wasn't a straight move to the upside at all. It was sort of an impulse up, and then pull back, impulse up, pull back, impulse up, and then ran out of steam. And then on the overnight, the market has been sideways to lower there. So an interesting picture there, and again sideways in the daily, but also rounding over as well. So very interesting to keep an eye on this one, particularly as we get towards the second half of September and that report that we looked at yesterday as well with regards to the second half, the seasonal pattern for prices dropping during the second half. So what have we got today? Well, crude and oil inventories are a day later this week because of the Labor Day celebrations. ADPM non-farm payroll employment changes out at 1:15. ISM manufacturing, and then Williams is going to speak, but we can ignore him because it's just medium impact. So there's one or two news items there, the most important one being the farm employment change, or non-farm employment change there. And finally, in Bitcoin, we see prices actually moving back to the downside, and about time. And the reason for this, the only reason I can find, is this yesterday, get the right news item, is that Goldman announced that they were no longer going to go forward with their plans for a crypto trading platform, and this sent Bitcoin sailing to the downside. If we just move this across, you'll see how the news was greeted. It was all very quiet, too quiet, and all of a sudden that was it. And then on the overnight, the market has continued to move lower as well. Bit of support there at the moment, but if we go back to the bigger time frame, we're looking at the 5,043 area, and also if we were to mark up the 76% on this one to the high here, we can see we've just hit 6239. A break below this, we'll see the 5743 hit as well, and then we get back down to the lows that we saw earlier on in the year. Let me just get rid of this. And that is the low, the 5743. That's what we're looking to break, to get that shakeout and clear out the weak traders before this market can move back to the upside. Okay, that'll do it for this one. If there's anything to report, I will let you know, but other than that, as ever, thanks for watching.